When you picture an Old English Sheepdog, what comes to mind? Probably that giant, lovable ball of fluff from a movie or maybe a paint ad, right? It's a seriously iconic look. But behind all that shaggy fur, there's a deep history and, let's be honest, a level of commitment that might just surprise you. So let's pull back the curtain and separate the storybook image from the real-world dog.
And this quote from a seasoned breeder, it pretty much gets to the heart of the matter. All of it. Wow. That single reply tells you almost everything you need to know about the dedication we're talking about, and it's a world away from that easygoing image they have.
So let's start with the name everyone seems to know them by, the Bobtail. Let's dig into how that iconic look and name even came to be.
You see, the name Bobtail isn't just some cutesy nickname. It's a direct link to their working past. Back in England, working dogs were actually exempt from taxes, and docking their tail was the official, physical proof of their job status. So, right from their name, you get this huge clue that there's way more to them than just being a fluffy pet.
And this is the image we all know and love, isn't it? I mean, from Disney's The Shaggy Dog to being the mascot for Dulux Paint, pop culture has totally painted them as the ultimate, cuddly, low-maintenance family pal. Just a gentle, kind of bumbling, four-legged cloud.
And that really is the big question, right? What happens when you look past all the movie magic and the marketing? It's time to peel back the layers of all that fluff and find out what's really going on.
To truly understand the Old English Sheepdog, we have to go back in time, way back, to a time when they weren't show dogs or family pets, but absolutely essential partners for English drovers out in the fields.
This timeline just goes to show this is not some new designer breed. We're talking about a dog with roots that stretch back well over 200 years. From those early depictions in art, to their first official show in 1873 as the shepherd's dog, and then finally getting recognized in 1888. This is a breed that was literally forged by history and a whole lot of hard work.
And just think about what that work actually demanded. A drover needed a dog that could think on its feet, protect the livestock, and just work tirelessly day in and day out. That weatherproof coat? That wasn't for looks, it was for survival. And these core traits, that intelligence, that loyalty, that hardy nature, it's all still coded right into their DNA today.
Okay, now we've got to talk about the single biggest reality check for anyone even thinking about getting an OES, and that is that magnificent, but oh so demanding, coat.
You've basically got two paths you can go down. If you want that classic, full-coated, fluffy look, well, you're signing up for a good 60 to 90 minutes of really intensive brushing every single week, without fail. The alternative is a shorter, shaved coat, which is way easier to manage, but, it still means regular trips to the groomer.
And listen, you can't just wing it with any old brush from the pet store. You need the right toolkit, and that means a proper pin brush, and pay attention to this detail. No balls on the tips, because those just snag and pull the hair. You also need a steel comb for the detail work and all the right tools for their nails and ears. Seriously, this stuff is non-negotiable.
So this is the fundamental technique you have to learn, line brushing. You literally part the hair in lines and brush it out, section by painstaking section, all the way down to the skin. It's methodical, it takes time, and you have to do it for the entire dog, both sides, plus all the detail work on their paws and ears. It's a whole ritual.
All right, here's a pop quiz that every experienced OES owner knows the answer to, probably because they learned it the hard way. What do you think happens if you try to give a shaggy, maybe slightly tangled dog a bath just to clean him up?
The answer is a complete and utter disaster. Water acts like shrink wrap on any little knots or tangles, turning them into tight, painful mats right up against the skin. So the number one cardinal rule is this. You must always brush them out completely before they even get near water. I'm telling you, this one piece of advice can save you and your dog a world of pain.
Okay, so moving beyond the grooming table, what's it actually like to live with one of these dogs every day? Let's get into their health and that famous personality of theirs.
So, like a lot of large breeds, they do have some pretty significant health things to consider. And this number here, it's pretty sobering. In a huge study of hip evaluations, almost 18% of Old English Sheepdogs were found to have hip dysplasia. That is absolutely a critical thing to be aware of.
And it isn't just their hips. They can also be prone to something called gastric dilatation volvulus, or bloat, which is a life-threatening emergency. They can also carry a gene that makes them really sensitive to some common drugs. And they often struggle with skin allergies. Being a great owner means being ready for these potential issues.
But here is the payoff. For all that hard work, you are rewarded with one of the most wonderful temperaments in the entire dog world. They're often called the clown of the dog world because they just have this amazing sense of humor. They're gentle, they're adaptable, and they're incredibly smart. And with a lifespan of 10 to 12 years, they become these devoted family members who are protective, watchful, and just fantastic with children.
So let's bring it all together now. Let's take that storybook expectation and merge it with the working dog reality to paint a final, complete picture of this breed.
And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. The Old English Sheepdog is not just a living teddy bear. They are a profoundly intelligent, capable, and historic working breed that just happens to be wrapped in a fluffy package. To have a happy life with one, you absolutely have to appreciate and cater to both sides of their nature.
And all of this brings us to our final question, a question for you. We've seen the history, the incredible grooming commitment, the health concerns, and that joyful, clownish personality. So, knowing all that, is this unique mix of brains, brawn, and boundless fluff the right dog for you? Well, only you can decide that.